Okay, it's 5 o'clock. Call this meeting to order. Can you do a roll call, please?
Larry Jones.
Stuart Huffman.
Jimmy Anderson.
Scott O'Brien.
All right, so there's a quorum. Everybody had a chance to look at the November 4th meeting minutes. Are there any changes? Or if not, then if so, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
A second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. Looks like we got a few items tonight, so Mr. McCormick, please go ahead and present item number 1.
Item number 1, this was deferred at the December meeting. Tom Anderson Architecture requests a conditional use approval for a 1,134 square feet, 6-unit mini warehouse storage building at 500 South Main Street. But this was, like I said, it was something we discussed last month. There was some question about the proposal, so I think he corrected those items. Here's, of course, I'll go through this right quick. Here's the property. The zoning is zoned in our commercial services limited. It's in our commercial core overlay. So this use is allowed by conditional use through this board in that zoning district. Here, I took a picture of the property. Where the building will be right back here, because I'm looking from Hollywood back. There's the building on the site. He did correct the parking and shows 3 more. So I think there's 38 total. There was 35 plus you're adding the 3. So it would, the proposal, you know, we don't see this have generally a lot of parking, 1 or 2. So yeah, it would meet the parking requirements. The building they're proposing to do all brick on it. I think there's some question about the materials. So I think they're just going to go all brick with the structure. Same kind of tone to match the main building. And then there was a question about the pad. I think it's a 10-foot concrete pad, and they're showing landscaping around it to offset the trees they would be removing. So what they're requesting is conditional use. So we have a general regulation specific. Remember, we went through these last month. But really, we got down to the question about there's some issues that were outstanding. So we talked about, we felt like this was a small scale. It didn't really meet a lot of the requirements that a standalone provision would require. We talked about a fence, but I think with the building with all brick and the landscaping, the goal was to leave that more than a fence itself. So staff stipulation, any motion to approve the conditional use to include a notation that no outdoor vehicle storage or materials is permitted on the property, so all be internal. There's really no place for it. I think it'd be good to note that if we do approve this conditional use, it's not set up for somebody pulling a boat up there and all that stuff. So the motion options, 1, we could approve the conditional use based on the request meeting the reference zoning ordinance, conditional use, and specific review criteria as determined by the board. And like I said, we put a lot of time in that last month talking about those. That'd be my recommendation. Or 2, we could make a motion to deny it if we don't feel like it meets what we think is the criteria for a conditional use, or we could defer the request. I'll go back to the picture if there's any questions.
As the applicant here tonight, you step forward, state your name, and just kind of give us a little more detail of what's going on tonight.
I'm Tom Anderson, and basically we have a full brick building that exceeds the requirements of the Goodlettsville, I guess the planning code, some type of a code that talks about the materials, so we exceed that. It's just a small little storage building, and from what I understand, Tent World wants to use some of it, and they have a new market going down there. Don't know if they're going to use some of it or what, but they're very small units. They got 4-foot doors, low profile. It's not totally incognito, but it's going to have the evergreens around it, and that's about it. There's not going to be any electrical to it. It's just going to be a bare little building.
if there's no comments,
Before we go to
Go
it, I
ahead.
will be abstaining
okay.
on the vote.
So we'll take a motion to, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
And a second.
Yeah, I second the motion.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain?
One.
Motion passes. Mr. McCormick, let's move on to item 2.
All right, this request, Mark Morris, property owner here, requests a side building setback variant for a proposed structure at 404 Bass Street, property zone Commercial Services Limited. It's all right, I just noticed on the agenda, I didn't put the staff presentations, applicant presentation, but it's the same. I just forgot to put that on there, but this is a request, it's on Bass Street. There's an existing house, old house from the 20s that was tore down here earlier this year, early spring. And by our ordinance, it is commercial, but we do have provision where a single family can be replaced within a year, so he's tracking to do that. Mr. Morris has moved in several homes in this area. I think this would be the 4th one proposed. So that's what he's proposing to do, is move a house in the structure. Planning Commission last night approved it. By state law, there's provision for moved houses in, so they've approved that. So the proposal here is a 50-foot lot. The existing house that was on it was roughly a 30-foot width lot. But like I said, it was from the 20s, so far preceded our zoning ordinance requirements. So the proposals bring into this house, it's 28 by 48, 50-foot width. The commercial services limit zoning requires a 15-foot side setback on both sides. So with a 50-foot lot, that will leave 20 foot for the house to be constructed. So he's wanting to move this house in, basically consistent with what was there before. The current one, or the previous one, was roughly about 30 feet. So what the request is basically a setback variance to reduce the side setbacks on both sides from the requirement of 15 to 10. Zoning ordinance provisions for variance, we have review criteria. The key to this thing is some particular issue with the property is narrow width, the dimensions, or something that is the basis for the variance, not just, we're just giving revised setbacks. The conditions will not be a petition for a variance base will not be applicable to generally other property within the same district. That's kind of a tricky one there, because unfortunately, all these lots over here are tiny, narrow, and it's got the same commercial setback requirements. A lot of these houses were from the 20s and 30s, so a lot of them predate that. But that's the tricky, to me, that's the tricky part about this, because there are similar properties, similar issues. And going on down, like variance on authorized activities, that's not applicable in this case, because this is a permitted use. The Planning Commission permitted it last night. Financial returns only shall not be the basis for granting the variance. It was not a hardship that's been created by the person having interest in it. I think with the zoning, our zoning, this current, probably in the late 80s, when the zoning that's on it now was created with the bigger setbacks. So it wasn't created by the current owner. The grant the variance will not confer on the applicant any special privilege as denied by this title to other lands in the same district. The variance is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, a building or structure, and it will not be detrimental or injurious to other property owners in the area. The variance will not impair adequate supply of light and air to adjacent properties, substantially increase the congestion in streets, any kind of danger of fire or anything of that nature. Nonconformity does not constitute grounds for granting a variance. No nonconforming use of buildings or structures it's not a reason to approve a variance or not. The board can place reasonable restrictions on the variance review if we find there's some limitation that needs to be defined that's reasonable with it. When I look at this property, the properties are old. The goal is to build back a house similar to what was there, be consistent with the neighborhood, so that's why they request a setback variance. I think the variance is, in my opinion, is a reasonable use, provides a reasonable use for the property. So the motion options would be to approve the variance based on the request meeting the reference zoning ordinance variance review criteria as we went through and per ordinance, be my recommendation. We could deny it if we don't feel it meets those criteria, or three, we could defer the request. So this, like I said, this one's tricky because I think the reasonable use of the land is clear with the ordinance, but you know, because multiple lots in this area all share these same issues, that'd be the part to consider. But I would recommend approval, because I do think it's a reasonable use to try to be consistent house width with what was there before, so.
All right, thank you. Applicant here? Will you please step forward, state your name, and add on to whatever you want to add on to?
Mark Morris.
Got anything else to let us know?
No, sir, I've got several properties in the area, and I make my properties look nice, and I plan on making this one look nice, too.
And there was, I forgot to bring up, there was a discussion last night at the Planning Commission. Like I said, this building is more long ways than what's there now, but he is moving a front door on this portion of the wall. So it will look like, you know, it's like a front of a house out there, so.
You're gonna put that in the porch also.
Okay, at this time, I'm gonna open up the public hearing. If there's anybody here that wants to discuss this item, please step forward. Seeing none, I'm gonna close the public hearing. Any discussion with the board? That's it. Oh, go ahead.
All right, I guess I gotta get this in my head. Thank you for clarifying that, Adam, because I didn't see how in the world at 48 feet it was gonna fit in there, but if you're putting it the long way, I understand it. All right. You said roughly 20 feet or whatever, right?
That's what, right now, with the 50-foot lot and the 15-foot setbacks on either side, that's what leaves the property under the current setbacks.
Right, so are you gonna center it, I guess, and have 10 and 10 on each side?
Yes,
Or
sir.
something similar to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I noticed that the neighbor next door, they have I guess, a privacy fence, and I guess, is that on the line? You may not know that. I guess
That's
I'm asking.
my fence, my home
That's
next
your-
door.
Oh, okay, it's your
Yes, sir.
home, okay. Good to know.
It probably is close.
I don't guess you care, do you?
It probably is close. There's where the fence is. I measured based on the aerial photography. It's not perfect, but the existing house looked to be about 10 foot from the property line. Actually, it's a little bit wider here than the other side, so.
Mr. Chairman, do you mind if I make a comment?
Go ahead.
I just want to let the board know that Mr. Morris, especially on Bass Street, has really improved that area that was really a detriment to the long-term neighbors that were there. He has brought up some homes to well above standard. He has moved some homes in that have exceeded the city's expectations. He's also purchased 2 other homes in the city. It was just an absolute property maintenance issue, I guess you could say, and have made them 2 phenomenal homes in our community. So I've got all the faith in the world in what he's trying to do, and I appreciate what he has done, because it's made a difference in making Goodlettsville better.
All right, thank you for those comments. I'm gonna go ahead and just move for a motion.
I move to approve, make a motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any noes? Nope. All right, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Morris.
Thank y'all for your time.
We're good to go. So.
Item number 3.
Just basically approval of the 26 meeting dates. I just wanted you, is there something that stands out for you all right now that would be an issue later in the year? Being a Tuesday holiday, it don't really conflict any holidays we get, but if there was something, you know, one of you members felt was going to be a problem, but that's all it is. I just wanted you all to know the upcoming meeting dates. We'll publish these in a couple of weeks on our website, so. But that's it, so.
Do we need a motion to approve?
Yeah, if you don't care, this is the way y'all confirm
All right.
you agree with it.
I make a motion.
Second? All right, everybody say aye.
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 Anybody no? All right, motion approved. And that is it, I guess, for the agenda.
Need a motion to end this meeting?
Yeah.
I make a motion to end the meeting.
All right.
Second.
Everybody say aye.
Aye.
No, yes, all right.
There will be a January when, you know, like I said, we go, what, a year without anything, we have 4 in a row, but there's just one item on the January agenda, so I'll get that to y'all soon, so. Yeah, I just never know what's gonna happen with it. It'll get back on the streak where we won't see each other for a while, so.